Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I hope everybody is doing really well. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a series of summer nail art tutorials, and today I'm starting it off with I'm doing some beach inspired nail art. And by saying beach inspired, I also mean beach inspired, if we can put it that way, because I am going to be using real beach sand, some real little shells, and some real little stones. I've washed all my stones, shells, and sand and dried them before I've used them. If my sand looks black, it's because I live on the coast of KwaZulu-Natal and we don't have golden sand or white sand, we have black sand because of all the mineral deposits in our beach sand. So I promise you it's been washed numerous times and dried. It's just that that is how our beach sand looks. It's black, not golden. But it's clean, and yeah. Speaking of clean, I would say that you should work with quite a large piece of cloth, or I use puppy pads because they're disposable and they're big, and that's what I use as my work surface on my table, and to catch everything, because in my opinion beach sand gets everywhere. So although I work very carefully, I use a puppy pad underneath as my work area. I also work with this container underneath where I'm going to throw my beach sand, sprinkle my beach sand onto my nails, because you can always pour from here back into your container with your beach sand, so that catches all your sand, it doesn't go all over the place. And I use a very old acrylic brush. Well, it doesn't have to be old, but it's just one that you don't plan on using again on clients or yourself or for anything important. I try very hard not to get the sea sand into the brush by using a very runny consistency of acrylic when I'm encapsulating the sand. But yeah, it's not a brush that I'm going to use again unless it's for some kind of weird nail art encapsulating type thing. You are also going to need a cup of tap water and a tub of soapy bubbles. Yeah, soap, so you can make bubbles, because we're going to be making the foam from the ocean and some bubbles from the water. I'm trying to make sense of all of this. So it's a longish process. Well, it's not that long, but it's involved. But it's fun. So without me babbling on any further, let's get stuck into the art, and I really hope that you have fun and enjoy it. On a side note, I have picked the very tiniest little shells and stones that I could find, and in my personal opinion they are not that much bigger than the normal stones and little diamantes and big gems and stuff that you would put or find on nails. They're not that big in comparison, and you don't even have to use more than one if you don't want to. It was just all in the name of fun, and you know, you might find something very, very much smaller than I did. So yeah, I think it's just something to try. So without further ado, let's get stuck into the tutorial. I hope you have fun, guys. Okay guys, so let's get started. What I have done is I've taken my nail and I've painted a coat of white polish, and I've painted a coat of that milky white underneath just to kind of give it a watery look. And I'm now going to do a base of clear acrylic to lay my beach sand on. So let's just get that done, and I'm going to do this quite runny and as thin as I can, and then once this is on, I'm going to go and throw the sand on as fast as I can before this dries, because I think I use quite a fast drying acrylic. So before my acrylic dries, I want to get that sand on here. Also want to do this as thin as you can, like I said, because we're doing quite a few different things on top of here, if you know what I'm saying. We're going to a lot of things on this nail. So in order not to have it too thick, you're going to just want to have a thin layer of acrylic. Okay, so there's your sand. Just give it a tap. Okay, so once you've finished applying your sand, you can just clean off any sand that you get anywhere. Like I said, this is why we use an old brush, because this sand just gets everywhere. So just get that sand back into its container and you can carry on. Okay, so now we've got our nails done with their first layer of sand. I'm now going to encapsulate the sand with a layer of clear acrylic. I'm going to go pretty runny again, and I'm going to go as lightly as I can, because I've seen, and when I've done this, that I can disturb the sand for some reason. I don't know if the sand hasn't set properly, but it tends to move the sand around a little bit, and then you just upset the whole situation. So I work in a couple of beads of acrylic and go very lightly in order not to fiddle with the sand too much underneath. Also, you try really hard not to get that sand onto your brush, even if it is your least favorite brush. So once you have got your layer of encapsulating acrylic on there, you are going to let it dry completely, and then you can file off any excessive amount and give it a buff before we move on to the next level that we're going to do, or should I say the next step that we're going to do. Okay, so I've already picked out a bunch of little tiny shells, smallest ones that I could find. So I've kind of got these to pick from, and I think what I'm going to use are stones. First, I'm going to go with the tiniest little stones that I could find. So I'm going to use my acrylic to stick them onto the nail. So I'm just going to pick out the little stones and stick them on with some acrylic. Okay, so I'm kind of going to go between where my beach area meets my water, which is kind of in between here. And I've chosen 3 different colored little rocks. Oh, and I've just lost one because it popped out. Okay, I've lost that one. Let me just find it. Use my finger to put that on with. Okay, so I'm just going to wait for that acrylic to dry a little bit, and then I'm going to do my water ombre. So for my water ombre, I have chosen 3 different color, well, 2 blues to do the ombre with, and like a turquoise. So the idea that I sort of was going for was that the darker you go into the ocean, the bluer it gets. And coming towards the beach area, I'm going to have this turquoisey color because it's lighter. So that's the kind of idea that I was going for. Okay, so now I'm just going to do the ombre. Let me just open all of them quickly. Okay, let's get this ombre done. So like I said, I did use real beach sand, and these are real genuine little rocks that I picked up on the beach, and real little shells. If you want, you can mix your seashells with your rocks. It all depends on what you really want to have. So if you want to go for shells and stones and a real chunky look, then that's awesome. Okay, let's try this ombre over here. And depends on how much beach you want and how much water you want, because the water part is going to be well, we're going to do quite a bit on the water. We're going to do this ombre with a sponge, and then once we've got the ombre with a sponge, we're going to be giving it a little bit of a more watery effect. I don't want to take away from the rocks too much, so I won't really cover it too much. And the other nails, I think I'll just do the rocks or the shells afterwards. Okay, so moving on to the next step, we've finished with our ombre now. So I have my nails with the rocks, and I have my nails with the shells, and I've finished with the ombre. I did the ombre quite dark because I'm going to be covering it with a layer of foam, so to speak. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to use some white nail polish, and we're going to use some tap water in a glass, and we are going to do the foam. So we're just going to take your white nail polish and put a drop into your tap water. Okay, once you got that in there, just get some body spray or some deodorant. I'm going to use a spritz of body spray and just give it a spritz so that it makes this weird little design. Okay, and then once you've got your design, pick the design or the area of the design, I suppose, that you like the most. So we kind of want it to look like sea foam, and that's what we're going to cover our water with, or our ombre with. So okay, can't really decide which part I like the most over here. I think I'm just going to pick any old part. Okay, so take the part that you're going to put the design on and cover your water. Stick it in like that. Take, I had a toothpick. I'm going to grab a toothpick here. Grab a toothpick and just clear the excess off from around there. Lift it out, and you'll have your ocean foam on your water area and not on your beach area. Just make sure you didn't get any on your beach sand, because you don't want foam on your beach sand. So now you have your water and you have your foam on your beach sand. Okay, so you're just going to want to do that to all your nails, I guess. So carry on and do that to the rest of your nails. Okay guys, so we are finished with that section of the decoration. Now the next step is entirely up to you. When I first did these nails, I did this on all of them. Now I'm not so sure, because I kind of like the way that it looks without it, but it's up to you, and you can see if you're for yourself that if it makes any difference. I'll show you what it looks like, and then you can decide for yourself if you want to do it or not. Initially I thought it was going to make a big difference, but it's up to you. So I'll do it on one nail, and you can decide. What we're going to do is make bubbles. So I've got my soapy water, and I'm just going to make some bubbles with my trusty blender thing. So I'm just going to make some bubbles quickly with some dishwashing liquid and water, and get some bubbles. Cappuccino mixer, by the way, that's what I was going for. Okay, so we've got some bubbles there. Okay, now I'm just going to put on some top coat. I'm just going to take a clear top coat and put it on where the ocean is and going over my rocks a little bit. Okay, so you don't cure it until your bubbles are on. You're going to apply your top coat, and then once you've got your top coat on, you are then going to go wherever you want your water. So I just missed a spot there, so I'd like to have some bubbles over there. Okay, then you're going to go in and grab your bubbles. So I've got my bubbles, and now I'm just going to stick that under the lamp and cure it for, let's say, 30. Okay, once you've got that, you're just going to wipe off your bubbles. And as you see, it's got that extra weird kind of bubbly effect. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm going to top coat that anyway. So I'm going to top coat this, do maybe another one with the bubbles, and top coat the rest with just the foam, and then I'll be done. Okay guys, so that is it. So if you haven't figured out, the whole purpose of this design was to do beach nails that were as close to nature as possible. Hence the reason I took from Mother Nature herself. So these two are the ones that I put the extra additive on, which was those bubbles, and I don't think I like them as much. It looks a lot more natural when you use just the nail polish in the water with the spritzer. It looks more foamy and kind of just more natural. So like I said, when I did the introduction to the video, I used real beach sand, real little seashells, and real little stones as tiny as I could find. And I really did try to make the water look real and foamy. I don't know that you could get shells smaller than that, but if you don't mind wearing chunky gems on your fingers, then you won't mind wearing slightly bigger shells. So it's really up to you how you want to do it. If you want to wear, I don't know, real shells or not. In the next tutorial, I'm going to do something that's similar to this, but not with real shells or real stones. It'll be with something different. So if you're interested in seeing what I'm going to do next, then please will you click like and subscribe and click that little bell. Then you can see what I'm up to next. I really hope that you enjoyed this. It is something different, but it's all in the name of fun, and you won't know till you try. So I had fun trying it, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Okay, so that was the end of beach nails. I really hope that you enjoyed this. I know it was kind of strange and different and messy and out there, but I like to try something unusual, and I really had fun when I did these nails because it was different for me, and I hope it was something that you enjoyed. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I guess, and everything's a personal preference. It's just fun to try something unusual. So I had fun doing this. I really hope that you had fun doing it with me. And if you have not yet got your sand and your stones and your shells, I hope that you go and get them and give this nail art a try. And please, will you come back and let me know if you did? And I'd love to see your version of these nails in the comments down below. Yeah, let me know. And if you enjoyed it, please will you click like and subscribe and all those fun things, and let me know what you think. Thanks guys for watching. Take care. God bless. Bye.